Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and what I want to talk about today is light mode and dark mode. Like, what's an easy way to think about like how to do light mode and dark mode? Like, you could just change all your CSS and maybe have like two different. Well, that wouldn't work. You could try to like just have different styles and then change all the classes depending based on what theme that is, but that can be tricky because then you have to go like iteratively go through every node and change its class. You know, you could have different sets of variables and then switch the variables based on the setting, but then you have to go back and again switch the variables that all these different properties are using. There's actually a pretty easy way to do this, so let's like just show you. Okay, so essentially we're gonna just create a basic HTML. Instead of creating a separate style sheet, I'm gonna just do a style tag, just for the sake of simplicity. And here we have an H1. And this one's just gonna say hello world. And all we're gonna do is we're just gonna do based on a custom property. So I'm just gonna say my theme, and again you can call whatever you want a custom property or custom attribute. My theme equals, we'll say light. So then what I'm going to do is that based on the body's my theme property, so I'll say if the body's my theme property equals light, we're going to have one rule set where we'll declare things like, we'll declare some variables, background color. I will say background color is white, and text color is black. And if you're not familiar with like CSS variables, you have to put the two dashes in front. It's just like the syntax for them. And then I'll just kind of copy this style. We'll just do another one of these, and then we'll do another one for if the theme is dark. And since it's the body tag, all of everything inside the body tag will inherit these definitions of the variables. Okay. So then in this case, I just reverse it. So we'll say background color is black, background color is white. So essentially, I just define variables for everything with the same names depending on which scenario. So now, if I were to style my H1, okay, I can do something like, now I'll actually do a style for the body tag, and we'll just say that the body's background color is going to be, we'll use a variable, and it'll be whatever the background color variable is. Okay. And the text will be, well, not the, it's just color. The text color is just going to be whatever var dash dash text color is. So I don't even need to style the H1 directly for this setup. But the idea is that that's going to change. So now, like, if I run this, right now it's light mode. Okay, so if I open this up in live server, so we'll do that, open it up with live server. See, right now it's white and black. But now if I change this property from light to dark, it changes it right there. So now let's try to create a button that changes it. So we'll just say button change theme. Okay. So there's the button. Now let's do some JavaScript so I'm just gonna write a script tag just so that we don't have to create a whole separate file. So here's a script tag. And what I'm gonna do in here is we're gonna say that const button, so we're gonna create a variable for the button, equals document.query selector. And then we're just gonna select the button. There's only one button, so it'll just grab that button. Okay, and then we're going to want to button.add event listener. We want to add an event listener when the button is clicked on. And what it's going to do, let me create the event function. First thing we're going to do is get the body tags my theme attribute. So we're going to say const body equals document. Actually, I think I can just do document.body. So const body equals document dot body. Okay. And then I'll just say, okay, if body.get attribute, and the attribute's going to be my theme, if the result of that is light, so that means what it currently is, then we want to switch it to the opposite. Okay, so then it's going to be like body.set attribute. Okay, my theme, dark. Let me change it to dark. Okay, now if it's not true, so that means it must be dark already. Then we're going to say body.set attribute, my theme to light, and then that should do it. Okay, so it's going to check, and right there, now we can switch between dark mode and light mode. So I click this button, and it changes the theme. Easy peasy. Okay, and then again, all I have to do is just declare, just continue styling using these variables, and just make sure that I define each variable in both brackets, so that way there's a dark light version and a dark mode version and a light mode version. And you could even create like other themes, so you could have multiple themes. All they have to do is just have all the right variables. So that's it. That's pretty straightforward. So as you can see here, and again, this custom property could be called anything. It doesn't have to be called my theme. That's just what I chose. It doesn't even have to be a custom attribute. You could do it with a class. Then you would just like add and subtract. You would just alter the class if you want to do that way. You could. That would probably be the best ways to do it. Either a custom attribute or a class. I like the custom attribute. I just think this kind of reads a little bit more obvious as to what's going on. So like if my theme is light, this is the variable values. If my theme is dark, this is the variable values. And I also find like just using the get attribute and set attribute function is a little bit more straightforward than and a little bit more readable for this particular task than using a class. But there's multiple ways you can do this. So that's that. I will see you all later. I mean, you could even just do it as simple as just having a, like I could even do this. I could just say, another way you could have done is just instead of having like an attribute with different values, you could just have a dark or light attribute. So I could just write dark. And then basically, if this is dark, and this is light, because I'm just saying, does it have that attribute? Okay, so it's dark. And then if I change this to light, that would work as well. I still think that my theme equals a value makes more sense, but you can do it that way. And then the only thing I would do here is instead of changing the attribute, what you would do is you would, so you would say, hey, if the attribute, well, actually, you would just do this. If you would just do dark, we'll say, okay, and then what you would do is you would have to remove attribute. So remove attribute, you would remove dark, and then body dot set attribute. We would just set light. Doesn't matter what you set it to, as long as it's a truthy value. So we just set it to true. And then I would just do the opposite here, and it would just do the same thing. Okay, so this time we would remove the attribute light and set the attribute dark. Okay, and then that should work. Let's test it out. Yep. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways you can specify, but that's essentially the gist of how you would do that. Okay, so my name is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. Have a great day, enjoy, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join the Slack and Discord communities over there at devnursery.com. You can find loads and loads of playlists of my videos over there at devnursery.com. And I'll see you all later.